let's take a step deeper into this. We talked about the young lady and her willingness to be readily available. We're going to talk about 3 vendors: McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts, and Starbucks. All of them sell the same thing, coffee. Each one of them has a different market niche. According to TOMA, which is Top of Mind Awareness Association, they're a marketing firm out of Seattle, when they survey us to ask us how we feel about this, here's what we say. McDonald's, improving, getting better, taste okay, quick, fast, efficient, and inexpensive. What do we say about Dunkin' Donuts, for those of you who have one anywhere near? This was almost my reason for being late today, trying to find a Dunkin' Donuts. What's happening is they're changing their entire attitude. What do we know Dunkin' Donuts for? Donuts. What are they trying to sell us now? Coffee. They've quit talking about donuts, they're only talking about coffee. We've got more choices than McDonald's. We don't cost as much as Starbucks. So we're in that middle market. And here's our buds, Starbucks over here, or $4, as Tom calls it. Or 5 or more. What is it that they offer us? It's an experience. It's more than just the coffee. I mean, you have to be able to speak a foreign language to order a cup of coffee in a Starbucks. I still haven't figured out how to spell barista yet. You know, so I'm not sure I can go in and get what I want. But they have the ultimate of choices. You can order it any way you want, any time you want, exactly the way you like it. And they charge you for that. Now there's 3 companies that are selling coffee. That's a commodity. You can buy that on the commodity exchange in Chicago. And yet they have been able to differentiate themselves significantly from each other in the same market space geographically. If you look around in most major cities, you'll find 1 or 2 of these very close to each other. So what are they doing differently than what you could do or should do with your business to create that same kind of focus, discipline, and purpose? Well, they understand who their market is, and they work towards that market. Are they after the same share of wallet? Probably not. Folks that buy coffee from McDonald's probably aren't going to Starbucks. You know, if we were doing this for Texas alone, we probably ought to replace this with 7-Eleven. Because if you go into the 7-Eleven store, you get a variety, you get choice, you get price, and you get service, which brings them the level above McDonald's. But there's 7-Eleven spending retail space, and any of you that are in retail know how precious that is, on coffee, on a commodity, on something that ought to cost 25 cents. Instead, it's $5. So there is a way to take any product, any service, and differentiate it enough to where you can dominate your market space. But it takes research to do it. I'm going to talk just a minute about step number 3, productivity. In his eloquent book, Gun Ho, Ken Blanchard introduces us to Andy Longclaw and Peggy Sinclair. Andy is an American Indian who has the only division in this plant that's actually functioning. And Peggy's been sent to pretty much close the plant. They expect her to fail at trying to turn this business around. And what Andy does is he teaches Peggy the lessons that he learned from his grandfather: the spirit of the squirrel, the way of the beaver, and the gift of the goose. Well, the only one we've got time to talk about today is the spirit of the squirrel. And it's about worthwhile work. When your customer value is clearly, unequivocally communicated within the organization, people will become empowered and inculcate these values into everything they do. They will start creating worthwhile work. None of us wants to go to work and be bored or not think they're creating value. But when we communicate our customer values to our employees clearly, succinctly, unequivocally, and make it the big issue, they begin to find ways to make that part of their lives and how they address their values, and productivity goes up. Now, our purpose for our presentation today was to talk about how to increase profits and productivity through customer value. So let's look at what we've accomplished. We've asked, who do I serve? What do they really buy from me? Why do they buy it from me? From a customer value, we spoke briefly about focus on customer value. We looked into the focus on market, and we touched on the purpose of customer value.